You know, the last thing I need tonight is Twitch disconnecting me like it just did. Oh dear. I'm okay, reasonably. Thank you. Parties is here. I've got some sort of bug which is affecting my voice, and has been for several days now. And also today I have a problem with my mail, where I'm not getting mail down properly. Which is also annoying me, and so it's kind of a fun evening apart from that. Do this. This is really not something I wanted to happen tonight. Come along, rings. Okay, I'm doing something. What am I doing wrong with this? I'm going to do that. Then I am going to pick up those two only through that gap there. So I am going to go on the outside of that, and I'm going to pick up This is where I actually wish I had about 18 hands. It will probably be very useful. I know once I get the first couple, like it always is with these weaves, once I get the first couple in place, it then becomes really easy to do. Finally. That's probably the hardest ring of the whole lot to get right, is that one. Now what I do is I take another one and I put it through exactly the same place as that one just did. Like that. There. And I notice this red ring wants a little tweak, so I'll just tweak that. There we go. Now then, what I do now is I just open that like that. No, I don't. I open those two like that, and I take a red ring and put it down through there. Well, I put it down through the right space, which I obviously just didn't. Right, I think it's that one like that. Okay, that ring I just put through a moment ago is in completely the wrong place. I shall have to open that one and put it back in again. I'm beginning to think today is not my day. Okay, that ring should have gone through there like that, I think. Nope. If I've got this right, then these rings are wrong. The wrong ones for this. So that's the herringbone. Aspect ratio on this 5.4, that should be enough. Okay, obviously I'm doing this wrong. Still doing this wrong. Because it's always doing it wrong when you start. Okay, so I have those two. I have that like that. So I had that through, apparently through there. will just be 2 rings. I guess anybody who knows how to do this one is probably laughing at me now. Chose no 7. Welcome to the studio this evening. Fear Reaper, good evening. Also welcome to the studio. I'm not doing too bad. My voice, as you can tell, is a little bit off. I'm also needing to calm down a little bit, not from the rings. I'm using the rings to help calm me down a bit. I have a problem with my mail, which is refusing to sort itself out, even though it should be a relatively simple matter to sort out, but it's not doing so, which is a little bit frustrating. So I decided I would come and do some streaming for you guys, and we'll then go back to looking at my problem of the email once I've had a chance to calm down a little bit. So I'm trying to do a full Persian weave, which is proving a little bit of a, well, it was proving a little bit of a challenge to start, which I think I've got over now, but it's a little bit fiddly even with these large rings. I'm sure when I last did one, when I did one that was actually used the wrong aspect ratio rings and it was too tight, and I'm sure it was I found an easier way of doing it, but I appear not to have remembered what that is. Yeah, indeed. I'm hoping it will. Well, I'm kind of hoping it fixes itself while I'm doing this. I know it's not going to. I'm probably going to have to delete my complete mail file and recreate it from scratch, and kind of not really looking forward to that, because I want it to do something else than sort mail files out, but sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do, as they say. Now this weave isn't all that complex a weave really. It does help if you start it and put the rings through the right way, which I obviously didn't just then, because that goes on the outside, through there, through that one, and through that one. There we go. Now in theory I suppose I could throw onto there a couple of closed rings, which is probably the way I found doing it earlier when I did it the last time. There really has to be an easier way than that. Yes, indeed, Chesno 7. That's the reason for the choice of colours. Was they kind of reminded me of Christmas. Yeah. Right. So what you see me do now is take it apart. I'm taking it apart because I've just noticed an error. And it's going to be easier to take it apart than it is to try and finagle the rings. These two here should go between those green, and they didn't. At least these are problems I can fix. Right, so okay, both of those green rings are wrong. So we'll take both of them out. So So I've just undone half of what I've done tonight already, but that's, you know, not a problem. Right. So the ring goes between two greens, between that green, and then we pick up that red on the way out, like that. Correct. Yeah, it actually looks fun. It is actually. I mean, and it can be a little bit frustrating, but I am feeling sort of more relaxed, if you like, than I was when I started. And so it is fun. You know, I expected it to be difficult a little bit to start, you know, to start the weave. You know, if you watched last night when I started the weave last night, I had a little bit of a problem starting the weave. I haven't done enough to get the starts down into a simple process. Once I've got the starts down, then it will become a lot simpler. Because, you know, the full Persian here isn't a fantastically hard weave. It starts fairly easy as well, and so yeah. It's almost like you could do with the rings being straight when you start, and then no, that's wrong. It wants to come up through the between those two rings. Okay, if you're not going to come up where I want you to, we'll start again. That's it. And then I drop it. Luckily that green stayed in the right place. Yep. See, there's one nice thing about this this weave, and as soon as I put this next green ring in, I'll show you what it is, and that's what makes it a little bit easier as well to weave. Is it has a characteristic pattern. I know this ought to be easier than this. What am I doing oddly that's making this difficult? Maybe I ought to try. Yeah, maybe I ought to try a reversed. Am I making this look easy yet? You need to not be, that's it, there we go. Okay, the characteristic of this weave, which if I zoom in, if I bring the camera up, let me bring my camera control up. Which reminds me, I also need to start that up. What over there? Okay. The characteristic of this is you've got a chevron heading that way on this side with the green, but if you look on the other side with the red, the chevron is going the other way, and that's kind of what makes it, you know, it's characteristic of this, and what makes it look obvious, if you like, when you're wrong or when you're right, if you see what I mean. And so I should now, in theory, be able to fairly simply progress this. So open red. Actually, I'm just going to do a pair of green. I'm going to try something which I've got a feeling might be the thing that I found last time. And that is, I've opened that ring, what might be described as backwards to me because I'm right-handed. I have a feeling that that might actually make it a bit easier, but we shall see in just a moment. That goes through there, so the red ones are nice and easy. And one of the things I want to try and do with this is make a stretchy bracelet. And so these red rings are the ones that would be stretchy, because I think I can put these on without actually, sorry, I can put these on while I'm feeding the greens. A little bit awkward, but it should be possible. Now then, let's find out if me putting these green rings, what I would describe as backwards, helps. So I will go between those two green rings there by doing that, by doing going between the green, through those two reds, out that side, and pick up that red as well. A bit fiddly trying to get around there, but am I inside? Yes, I think that worked. It looks like it. And I'll do the other one. Oh boy, does that feel weird having it open the other way. Okay. Pick up this other ring here. And doesn't really matter which side I do this from, so we will go down through that ring, through those two red ones, out the other side, pick up that red one coming through the green at the same time, all of which of course means absolutely nothing to you guys because you probably can't see it that well, but there we go. Yep, that's better. That was a lot simpler. So note to self, for future, open the green rings, as I'm calling it, backwards. There we go. Right, let's open some rings. Now we're motoring. It is quiet tonight. It is indeed quiet tonight. I don't know whether it's just chat that's quiet or the whole of Twitch, but to be honest, I haven't been looking. As I say, I was attempting to fix a computer problem. Hawk TV, thank you for making my night. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for following the studio. That's just, you know, one of the nice things. And Seth Kappa, thank you also for following the studio. Oh dear, that's at least cheered me up a little bit, having had the problems of the email problems, and then having to messing up the start of this particular chain, and that's great. Thank you both very much. Ah dear, that's made it worthwhile. Even if I was getting frustrated with email. Right. Don't know how many of these. I don't actually know how many I need. So we're doing. I'll do a few, and then I can weave a little bit, then open a few more. And work that way. So 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8. Nah, I can't count like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. One more to make 16. Then we'll do open 16 red rings as well. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 10. These will open normally, so open these anti-clockwise. I suppose I could use my little ring for doing this. I don't know. Let's see if it works. I've never used this before, so I'll be doing that. I don't know whether I like that. I've only done one. I'm not sure whether I like it. So what this ring is, it's got slots cut in the side. It's not so bad. And the idea, of course, is that I don't have to hold pliers, and I can just hold things with one hand and then just drop it into the slot and twist. And you can't easily use this for closing rings, but you can use it for opening them. And I suppose actually I'm probably going faster doing it this way. Hawk TV, thank you very much for that comment, but still thank you. As I say, you've made the night a lot more a lot more enjoyable than it was. I mean, when I started. Yep. So I'd basically just feed 2 of these through there. Actually, I'll use my big pliers for this. And drop them into the right-ish sort of position, hold them in place, swap pliers to pick those up. So through there, through. Okay. through those 2 red ones, please. Ah, okay. And through that one. I got those 2 red ones captured correctly? No, I don't. That's why it was being a little bit awkward. That's how it should be. Quite often you can feel when something doesn't feel right. It usually isn't. That red ring there has opened itself slightly. The rings have, as I mentioned before on the stream, the rings have a slight memory, and when you twist them, try and twist them shut, sometimes what you get is they will sort of spring open slightly, or sort of try and twist back to their original position, and you sometimes have to just go back over and just as I just did with the red one there, and occasionally just tweak it back into position, and then it'll usually stay. It's just a memory effect that they have, and that twisting backwards and forwards that you're seeing me do is resetting that, or trying to reset that memory effect. And one of those green ones has just opened back up, so we'll tweak that one again in a moment. So the twisting backwards and forwards does two things. It does something called work harden the ring, which effectively makes it stiffer, and the second is, as I say, it starts to reset that memory effect. And if you stiffen up the ring and reset the memory effect, then it should stay where you put it. Nope, that's got to come up through the green. There we go. Let's see if I can do this with the big players. So, down. Sometimes you kind of do that and you go, have I done that right? Because it seems so easy. And the red ones are, because they're not, well, they're almost not woven at all, they're just sort of looped through the green. Nearly put that through completely the wrong place. and then just let go of it altogether. Yeah, that ring goes through there. Thank you. Pick another one of these green ones up then, since the one I had didn't want to be where it was. There we go, it's getting easier now, obviously, with the practice. And just like Ghostbusters, you don't cross the rings, or the streams as they go. Not on this particular weave anyway. There are some weaves where you do purposely intertwine the rings, the pairs, as I'm working on here, but not for this particular weave. I think there's one called something like a chaos weave or something like that, which looks really interesting and really complicated, which I might get around to trying one of these days. And then there's one called a candy cane, which also it looks a little bit chaotic, but is obviously not, because you've got to make it. But and that's another one I want to try. You know, I wonder if I did something like that. Will that make it easy? No, not really. That one. Crossing the rings again. Got to be careful not to do that. And it helps not to drop it on the table, but you never know. Right, through that, like that. I thought something was a bit odd then. I'm going so well I did it wrong. I looked at the red rings through the wrong place. Which then led me to trying to put the green rings through the completely wrong place. Thanks very much for that, doing that for me, Fear Reaper. That was great, thank you. I wasn't watching. I should have been, but yeah, thank you very much, Eddie, and good evening. Welcome to tonight's studio. So have you been, Eddie? I've noticed, or I haven't noticed you streaming for a little while. I guess it's the kids' holidays, is it? And you've been otherwise occupied? Ah, right. Two reasons for not streaming then. Right, so that's nice and reasonably flexible. And I don't know how long that one is, but let's have a look. Yeah, just short of 3 inches. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'll just do 14 of these. In fact, I'm going to use this ring again as well. Tonight is the first time I've used it. And I'm not finding it too bad to use. Except it keeps wanting to rotate around my finger. I should really close these red rings now, but I shall not bother. Now that I've got back into the pattern of the weave, I can manage with the red ones closed, but we shall leave them as they are for the moment. Dear. I hope whatever I've got goes away quickly. Because it's now giving me a tickly cough, which is kind of irritating. There again, I guess any kind of cough is irritating in a way, but there we go. Keep doing that. Catching hold of 2 rings rather than 1 with these pliers. No, that's wrong. Okay. His red ring has dropped into the wrong place. So rather than open the 2 green ones back up, I'm just going to try and reposition this red ring in the correct place. Which, just by rotating it, seems to have done the job. Yes, it has. That was convenient. Yep, still looks right. Colour of that red ring I just picked up looked a bit off. It looked sorry, it looked more brown than red, so I will discard that one. Get them on, line up properly. There we go. Don't know, these rings are worse trolls than anybody on the internet, just about, and that's not picked up the one that I wanted it to do. Come on. There we go. You see, all you needed was to be told that you were in the wrong place and you went where I wanted you to. All you have to do sometimes is just talk to the rings. That's not a problem as long as you don't get a response. Okay. 6 greens, 4 reds left on the table. Nope, that red's out of line. And that red's still out of line. Funny how you can never seem to hold four rings together. I wouldn't necessarily think it would be that hard to hold 4 rings, especially when they're fastened to each other, but they're as slippery as eels, with twice as much desire to escape. Yeah, that's okay. 4.5 inches. But that's what we've got so far tonight in about an hour, so bit of a slow start on this one, but that's quite a nice chain. I'm going to leave it here tonight, guys. DDX777, thank you very much for following this evening. That's absolutely fantastic, thank you. I've run out of rings without opening and closing some. I've got plenty of rings left, but I just haven't opened them up to use. So what I'll do is I'll leave that while tomorrow, and we'll finish this tomorrow night. I now have to go sort out some problem with my mail application, so I can actually send mail, which would be really helpful. But thank you very much for watching. It has been very good. They are 1/4 inch, 80, 1/4 inch. What are they? 18 gauge. 18 gauge 1/4 inch. And I've just seen an error. I've got one ring out of place. Actually, it's that one that's out of place. So I will. I'll sort that in a minute off stream, but I'll have that ready, correct it for tomorrow night. So if there's anybody that's watching that isn't following, and thank you very, very much to the 3 girls who have followed this evening. It's been absolutely fantastic. After the evening I've had, that's made my night. Thank you very much. But if there is anybody else that's watching that isn't following, I would of course encourage you to do so, and thank you if you do, but it's not mandatory, of course. If you just like to be notified when I go live, I do tweet when the stream goes live. So if you follow me at Zaraganart, it's on the end plate in a moment, and it will also be below the stream window. On the other hand, if you'd just like to try and catch me on my next stream tomorrow night, I hope, subject to the mail working, then that's at 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours GMT. Over approximately 2 hours ago was 8 PM in the UK. So thank you all. I have really enjoyed this evening. It's really calmed me down. Thank you very much for your assistance in that, and I'll hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.